me of a certain real estate transaction involving these trinkets. It was one that could hardly be called a benevolent gesture of mankind. Do you remember the story about Manhattan Island and Peter Minuit and the Indians?
How?
3 minutes and leave him in the shell.
What?
No, not what. How?
$35, not cent less.
But it's only an island.
If me no need money, you know buy for $50.
Not even $100.
One answer between the two of you, please. $20 and not a cent more.
$30, not cent less.
Well, I guess we'll just have to pass this deal by.
Medicine man say me sick. If me no sick, me no sell island. Me sick, so me go west.
You're crazy to go west. The whole west is full of Indians. You want to get killed. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll raise my offer to $22.
$26, not cent less for island of Manhattan.
Why don't we have a drink and forget the whole deal?
My medicine man tell me no drink, no smoke.
No drink and no smoke?
No.
What about girls?
No girls.
What about her?
Oh, she my daughter. She no girl.
That's what he thinks. Now, just let me get this straight. You're not allowed to drink?
No.
No smoke? And no girls?
No. No girls.
Well, what do you want the $26 for? You better get another doctor and have a little fun out of life. Now, this is my final offer. $24 and not a penny more.
Robbery. White man rob poor Injun.
So you think you're being robbed, eh? Be glad it's not 300 years later. You might have been wiped out in the stock market. Now, is it a deal or isn't it?
Robbery.
That's quite true, but is it a deal or isn't it?
Deal.
Good. Shake. You, Laughing Water, turn around. She's easily amused, isn't she, huh?
Hey, what you doing?
I'm writing you a check for $24.
What is check?
Well, it's a promise to pay.
Me no want promise. Me want money.
Well, you'd hardly expect me to carry that much cash around at one time now, would you? Say, how about taking it in merchandise?
Merchandise, eh?
Yes.
What's that?
Well, this is merchandise. Valuable jewels from way down upon the Swanee River. Oh, she ought to be in show business.
All right, I take deal.
Now, wait a minute. I got to have these tags for my income tax returns. These tags are very valuable.
Tags valuable?
I'll say.
Me take tags. You take jewels. Chief no fool.
No wonder you're the chief. With a brain like yours, the white man hasn't got a chance.
How?
3 minutes and leave him in the shell.
Laughing Water, come. We go west.
Way down upon the Swanee River. White man no fool either.
Manhattan Island, grabbed from its Indian owners for $24 worth of junk. What a jip. And history didn't tell the whole story. Minuit wound up not only with the island, but with the Indian girl as well. Anyway, thanks to Governor Minuit and others like him, the European invasion of America was now running in high gear. But was the fresh, clean air of the New World doing anything to straighten out man's thinking processes? Not at all. Remember the Salem witch trials, the hangings and the burnings? Oh, my boys and girls were really doing things. Not that their cousins in the old world were behaving any better. They still liked to live in squalor and dirt, encouraging conditions of filth and disease and, oh yes, Plague. England, the spring of 1665. In London alone, the death rate was nearly 1 in 6. Whole families died behind their guarded doors, and in the night the death carts came through the stricken city. And who was to blame if not man, who still refused to learn that cleanliness is next to godliness? And it wasn't my place to teach him. If it hadn't been for an outbreak of fire in London's Pudding Lane, the Great Plague might have wiped out England's entire population. But the fire came, consuming churches, prisons, bridges, homes, and incidentally, much to my regret, burning out the plague spots themselves. But I still had other little matters to keep me busy. Even when man left dry land, he wasn't any better. He had achieved a certain freedom of the seas, but the seas were no safer now than they'd been 100 years earlier, because some of my very best disciples were on the rampage. Oh, great days. Boarding, burning, keel hauling, walking the plank. Believe me, for homicidal mania and unmitigated villainy, the 17th and 18th centuries hit a new low.
But also a new high, because there's another side of the picture. The great discoveries, some of them made by mere chance. Let me show you. It's possible that Isaac Newton's revelation of the laws of gravity may have been more painful than he reported. For here's what happened when Newton went strolling in his apple orchard. Newton was somewhat less than fond of apples, but what happened that day almost made up for Adam's fiasco with the same fruit. Might have been a painful experience, but to Newton, it proved that all that goes up must come down, even if it's just an apple on the head. And you must remember, all this happened long before the invention of applesauce. Well, true or false, the story of Newton and the apple proves that mankind has never been found wanting for a sense of humor. And even as the worlds of science, music, and medicine advanced, so did the spirit of man and his thinking. The American Revolution is the case in point. It all started with unfair taxation. But history will show, despite Mr. Scratch's protests, that mankind will be neither dominated nor misled for any great period of time, and that under the shackles of oppression, spirited heroes are created. Paul Revere was one of many who clearly recognized right from wrong and led the revolt against tyranny. George Washington was another giant who also carried the torch of freedom, which illuminated a path for other such fervent men as Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and John Adams. Together, they recognized that all men are created equal, and that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government. Mr. Scratch!
Where are we? What's all this?
This is a picture of man throwing off the yoke of oppression.
showing that he wants only freedom of spirit.
Freedom of spirit. Mass murder, pillage, blood, all blessed in the spirit of freedom.
I never said that.
Oh, I'm not holding it against you. I like bloodshed. But when it comes to revolution, man hasn't always been as moderate as he was in North America. Take France 13 years later. Nobody would have dreamed the country was bankrupt. The courtiers giggled and made love, particularly in the salon of a charming lady named Marie Antoinette, who happened to be the queen.
They say the mob is marching on Versailles, Your Majesty.
Oh, la la, a long walk indeed.
Thousands of them carrying pitchforks.
Oh, pray let us hope they make hay while the sun shines.
Naturally, they'll all be blown to pieces by the army.
Oh, what a crying shame when one considers the servant problem. Would it be tactless to ask what the poor creatures want?
They protest they haven't any bread, Your Majesty.
No bread indeed. Then let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake. It was a witticism which echoed around the world, and which incidentally was to cost poor Marie Antoinette her delicate little head. But she wasn't the only one. Mankind was on the rampage again, all set for the bloodbath known as the Reign of Terror. And how that guillotine went to work lopping off those heads, sometimes at the rate of 1,000 a month. But in spite of my encouragement, the French Revolution petered out. I suppose partly because by this time they were running out of heads. And partly because France had accumulated quite a few wars on her hands. Wars against England, Spain, Prussia, Austria. Then at Toulon in the south of France, the cause of peace wasn't exactly helped either. The British warships succeeded in destroying a large part of the French fleet. From the point of view of France, the situation was saved by the brilliant tactics of a young artillery officer who rose from captain to general in a matter of weeks, and who was soon being acclaimed a military genius. But man's ego being what it is, the young general wanted much more than the acclaim of his compatriots. What Napoleon Bonaparte wanted was the world. And one night in the year 1796, it looked as if he would get it.
4 Napoleons?
Josephine, I've been waiting for you. I wanted you to be the first to know.
They've given you the command?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so very glad.
But it's you I have to thank. It was your influence that made it possible.
Did Napoleon Bonaparte's ability have nothing at all to do with it?
I thank you for saying that. But even the greatest of men need help. Lack of perception isn't one of my failings.
Nor is modesty one of your virtues. But I'm so happy for you. You'll lead our armies into Italy and you'll win.
Yes, I'll win.
For the glory of France.
For the glory of France.
What were you thinking about just then?
The future? Listen to that music. The marching song of France. Yet one day it could be the song of the United States of Europe. Italy, Prussia, Austria, Spain. Yes, and Russia and England, too. All marching under the same banner.
With you as the commander-in-chief.
There's a higher rank than commander-in-chief.
What rank could be higher?
Emperor.
No. We fought a revolution for liberty and equality. Our nation would never give up what it's gained.
Our nation is made up of people who are in it. People are emotional and easily led.
But a king has to be born.
Yet an emperor could be elected.
Only if the people wished it.
You're right. A man is only as great as his fellow men will allow. Yet he can climb to the stars if the world holds a ladder.
I'm afraid for you.
Don't be. I know exactly where I'm going and how far.
The story of Napoleon ended as does that of all despots. Mankind tasted blood, found it revolting, and again rose up in protest.
To bring an end to the long, twisted road, Napoleon, who had tried to climb to the stars, had burnt himself out, meteor-like. And it was mankind who sent him into exile. Once more, the human error was corrected by basic humane traits.
Not really. With one hand, you destroyed Napoleon, but with the other, you kept alive a blaze of war that consumed most of the world. Let's not forget that the other wars dragged on and on. England against the United States, Spain against South America, Russia against Turkey, England and France, Italy and France against Austria. And those who tested the so-called freedom of the seas paid a mighty high price for the trespassing. The price ran as high as life itself. Was this the purpose for which man was brought to Earth? Even the opening of your new world, which you so recently described in awe-inspired tones, was something less than a Sunday picnic. Then came the red man, fighting for his very survival, and the white man, determined to take away this so-called God-given heritage, used the foulest of methods. Rather confusing, don't you think? Didn't limit his foul methods of land grabbing to the Indians. He even turned against his own neighbors. Gold fever added to the madness of greed, pestilence, and murder, until finally nature itself revolted and screamed out in anger in an attempt to put an end to mankind then and there. Gold. Gold to tempt man. But nature didn't quite make it. So man was off to the races again.
In what way now? My lord.
What further apples? The little red book, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I have it handy here myself. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. What about the years 1861 to 65, the American Civil War? Can man talk his way out of that one?
There's no point in even attempting it, but at least something great came out of it.
Something great, eh? He calls it great. Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't. Brother against brother, father against son, 750,000 dead. Why should I complain? But what was great about it from mankind's point of view?
I'll tell you, Mr. Scratch. It preserved a way of life. Do you condemn man for the deeds of Abraham Lincoln? Deeds which were endlessly good, including the Emancipation Proclamation that was designed to give freedom to the slaves.
And now, the proclamation. That on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free.
Do you still question that something great came out of the Civil War? And does Mr. Scratch also ignore and condemn the great composers whose music continued to delight the world? Beethoven, Brahms, Verdi. Add to this the accomplishments of the great inventors, such as Alexander Graham Bell, who gave the world the telephone.
Mr. Watson, come here, I want you. Mr. Watson, come here, I want you. Mr. Watson, you did hear me.
And then there was Thomas Edison, the wizard of Menlo Park, who turned night into day. And, of course, the development of the gas engine finally put the world on wheels. Some of them flat. And despite the objection of our four-legged friends, whose first cousin, the iron horse, had a rather fiery evolution itself. Or does man stand accused because the Wright brothers gave him the ability to fly like a bird? Well, maybe not quite like a bird.
Were all these achievements so negligible, noble sirs? With mankind's future in the balance, can we ignore the progress of the last 150 years?
By your leave?
Yes, Mr. Scratch?
The last 150 years, says he. Well, I'll take it from there and say that never in the history of the earth has man reached such depths of stupidity, greed, immorality, and self-indulgence as in these self-same last 150 years. Do you want to hear the record? It's all in here. You told us that man freed the slaves, but what about the slaves he created? The slaves that worship the god of war, the god that killed 8.5 million men in World War I. But there were consolations. My opponent has talked of music. There was music, all right. A new rhythm, maybe, but guaranteed to send the blood pressure soaring. So the world danced on through the war's end, through the roaring 20s and into the 30s. And nobody cared to notice that one of my most brilliant creations was creeping out of the woodwork.
Today, I liberated Ireland. This is my last territorial demand. Today, I invade France. This is my last territorial demand. Today, I invade Russia. This is my last territorial demand.
The world continued to dance through another war, and with a murderous song in its heart, accompanied by the propeller blades, this benevolent mankind, used his greatest intellectual invention of the airplane to deliver one of my greatest, boldest, most spectacular triumphs.
Session of the High Tribunal of Outer Space is called to order. Court will now listen to the final summations in the hearing to determine whether to allow the explosion of the Super H bomb on the planet Earth, thereby bringing an end to mankind, or to prevent the explosion and allow mankind to continue to live. The spirit of man will be heard first. Summations will be brief.
Noble sirs, many words have been spoken at this tribunal, some of them angry, some of them in milder temper. But whatever the words, I do sincerely believe that down through the ages, the soul of man, misled many times, has survived the deceit of the few and managed to redirect itself through inherent moral strength. My colleague, Mr. Scratch, has maligned and blackened all of mankind for all of time. He does his job well, but that is because it is, with him, a full-time job. And over a period of 1,000,000 years, he has become quite adept at developing man's weaknesses. Yet man recovers and emerges stronger more capable than ever. Now, all the facts have been presented, noble sirs, and whatever coloring my opponent has chosen to give them, I am certain you have seen their true worth and weighed them accordingly. However, one point has been overlooked, one witness not called. And with your permission, I raise that point and call that witness now in place of the usual summation.
This procedure is most unusual.
But this case is most unusual. And since it carries a decision to affect all eternity, it does not seem unreasonable to beg your indulgence on this one point.
Request granted.
Thank you, my lord. And now I call your attention to my last witness, the man of tomorrow. If there is no tomorrow, and no men of tomorrow, all the yesterdays will have had no meaning. All the sacrifice, faith, and progress since man first appeared on earth will go unrewarded, and the world of evil, presided over by the devil himself, will have been victorious. If goodness be its own reward, let there be a tomorrow on the planet Earth.
Before Mr. Scratch delivers his summation, I have an announcement to make. I have just received word that the warring armies have moved against each other on the planet Earth. And in accordance with the destiny of time, the great Super H-bomb will explode at exactly 11 o'clock. I direct your attention to the great clock of outer space. When the clock strikes 11, the bomb will go off and bring an end to mankind unless, as such decisions are entrusted to us, we decide that the bomb shall not go off and that mankind shall survive. Therefore, speak quickly, Mr. Scratch, and make your summations brief. For we must make a decision before the clock strikes 11. Speak, Mr. Scratch.
My distinguished colleague rests his entire case on the so-called man of tomorrow. By inference, he almost acknowledges that mankind deserves no better end than annihilation by the Super H-bomb. And yet, weak and sentimental, as is all mankind, he introduces a sentimental trick and hopes to gain the mercy of the court by introducing a pathetic last witness, a child. I accept the challenge, and I shall use as my final summation the very witness brought here by man. I call your attention to the witness innocently playing with his toys. This is mankind's bright hope of tomorrow, the hope of peace and virtue. Have you seen the toys with which the child plays? A toy gun and a toy sword.
My lords! If I may,
please.
Noble sir, I ask that the toys of the child be more carefully examined. With the court's permission, the gun fires nothing more dangerous than music. Listen.
Objection, that is still more sinister.
Objection overruled.
And the toy sword is nothing but a pencil box. If it please the court, there is one piece of evidence already referred to which has not been placed on exhibition. The Bible. I ask that it now be marked as an exhibit.
Objection, objection!
Let the Bible be placed in evidence.
First, there is a line to be read.
Objection. That book has no place in this trial and no bearing on its outcome.
Objection overruled. Proceed.
The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. My lords, I rest my case.
In the matter of the story of mankind, this high tribunal has weighed most carefully the good of man against his evil, and finds that man is as evil as he is good. His holiness has been equaled by his tyranny, his nobility by his lack of faith. And so the scales balance much too evenly for this high tribunal to determine whether to bring an end to mankind or to assure him eternal life. We therefore reserve judgment in order to allow man more time to set his house in order at the earliest possible date. Take heed and listen well. The time runs swiftly, and the fate of man is now laid at the doorstep of man himself. By the villains you encourage, by the heroes you create, you shall soon achieve eternal life or oblivion. Therefore, it is the decision of the High Tribunal of Outer Space, this court shall soon convene again to determine, finally, whether mankind shall continue or be destroyed by the Super H bomb. This choice is entirely up to you.
Y así, señoras y señores, llegamos al final de nuestra emisión del viernes. Ya solo nos queda recordar a ustedes los espacios que pueden ver en nuestra emisión del sábado. Que descansen. Buenas noches.